Oh my god. Or my husband is vaping again. Because I was, oh my god, Matthew.
Don't let your dreams be dreams.
Get out of my way.
Do it. Don't let your dreams be dreams.
Beep. Are you or do you feel isolated? Are you criticized for spending time with your kids, your friends, or your family? Do you hear things like, why can't you take a joke? Why can't you let go of the past? No one will ever love you like I love you. Are you emotionally abused? Called fat, ugly, worthless, stupid? Are you physically abused? Do they hit you and then call it an accident? Or apologize stating they just lost their temper and they won't do it again? If you answered yes to any of my questions, you are likely with a narcissist. If you're still unsure that you're with a narcissist, please go ahead and watch part 1 on narcissistic abuse and recovery. In part 1, I covered the 5 biggest characteristics of a narcissist so you can properly identify them. And in part 2 today, we're going to go over how to deal with a narcissist while you're still in the relationship in a way that will help you and will help them. And if we haven't met before, my name is Ashley Nichols, and everything that I'm telling you comes from personal experience because I was with a narcissist for 4 years. Or it comes from lots and lots of research because I have an extreme passion for anything self-help or psychology. So I compiled all of my knowledge into the most important tips that helped me and that I think will help you. So let's get started. So the first thing I want you to do while you're in the relationship is identify and affirm it. The most important step to healing is acknowledging that there is a problem and figuring out what that problem is. So you need to identify that they are a narcissist. You need to watch my first video and compare the characteristics I talk about to them and see if there are any similarities. Do they have a lack of empathy? Do they seem overly concerned about themselves? Are they irrationally angry? Do they isolate you or themselves? Do they gaslight? Do they love bomb? If so, go ahead and label it. They are a narcissist. Now what I want you to do is affirm it. And what I mean by that is do not gaslight yourself. Don't say, well, maybe I'm exaggerating, maybe I'm wrong, maybe he's just not himself right now, or there's something else going on. No, you already did your research, you already identified it. Stick to your guns. They are a narcissist. You're not overthinking anything. You wouldn't be here and considering this if there wasn't a problem. Listen to your heart. If he was a whole, healthy, and loving man, you wouldn't have an issue. You wouldn't even be considering this or watching this video. So don't let your brain that's been controlled by him fool you. Now, don't misinterpret me and don't think I'm telling you to go talk to him, sit down and say, well, this is what I heard, this is what I learned. Does this seem like you, love? Are you a narcissist? That's the stupidest thing you can do because they don't know they're a narcissist or they completely deny it. What I want you to do is affirm your own intuition, affirm your own allegation. This may sound weird, but sit down with yourself like you're talking to your best friend. Say to yourself, say, honey, you wouldn't be here and considering this if there wasn't a problem. You have a right to look out for your own safety and happiness. It is not selfish. It is okay to evaluate your relationship and figure out if this is something you want to deal with for the rest of your life. So, the second thing I want you to do is don't fight back. And this one is a lot harder than it sounds because it's going to go against everything your mind and body is telling you to do. A narcissist knows how to get to your deepest insecurities and pull out the darkest emotions out of you. Your tummy is going to be filling up with heat. You're going to get angry. Your mind is going to say, stand up for yourself, say something, don't let him do this. It's a form of reactive abuse. But what I want you to do is box breathe through it, which is breathe in for 4 seconds through your nose. Hold it for 4 seconds. And exhale for 4 seconds. And just keep doing that. And while you're doing that, observe him. The biggest stand you can make is not giving him the reaction that he wants, because he wants you to get heated. He wants you to fight back. So your way of really fighting back is by not doing that. And if you need to, walk away, go to another room, go step outside, take a breath. And if he won't let you do that, because sometimes that happens, box breathe and do your best. Just watch, just observe. And also, I said this in my last video, but I want to repeat it because it is super important. Fighting back or giving ultimatums like change now or I'll leave will do nothing but give him a reason to fight you. It has to be their idea to change. It has to stem from them because it takes years and years of therapy. And if they're only doing it for you, it's not gonna last. And no relationship should come to ultimatums. What you need to do is decide whether or not this is the life you want to live. If him as he is not what you want, you need to move on. And that's with a healthy relationship or a toxic relationship. You express your needs and you observe if they can provide, and if they can't, and if you can't deal with that, you move on. Because there is someone out there who will provide. Don't let the narcissist fool you that they're the only one out there for you, because that's completely not true. If you think about it, you can have multiple friends or multiple family members that you have a connection with, so why can't you have a romantic connection with multiple people? And I'm not saying multiple people at once, I'm saying if one doesn't work out, you're heartbroken, you're sad for a little while, you take a breath, you come back to yourself, and you can reflame that with someone else. And in a healthy relationship, you know that. You want to be with this person, you love them, you'd be heartbroken if it ended, but you know that that's not the end of your life or any romantic connection you may form. So this one was kind of long because it's important, but in summary, what I want you to do is sit back, observe, and analyze. Now, step 3, tell someone. Now, I know this is difficult because it would mean exposing your narcissist when you've been portraying it as a completely happy relationship, possibly. But telling someone will give you that logical perspective that you don't have because your emotions are in the mix, because you care about this person. And if you don't have someone like that because maybe your narcissist has completely isolated you, you can find it through social media, through a coach, someone like me on YouTube, or maybe a domestic violence counselor, which is what I did. She gave me a perspective that I really hadn't considered because my love for him blinded me. So find a coach, a counselor, a trusted friend or family member, and tell them what's happened. Tell them how your relationship is going and just ask, what are your thoughts? Step 4, learn and decide. I want you to read on narcissism more. Google some articles. Watch some more YouTube videos. Rewatch part 1 of this series. Go find a book on narcissism on Amazon. There's lots of them. Or listen to some podcasts on narcissism. It's a very popular subject, so read, learn. Learn as much as you can. Once you dig deeper, you'll realize that there's no changing them. If they are not currently in therapy and already made that decision, not for you, but for themselves, and they show no desire to change, and I mean shown, not told you. They can be super convincing, but if they haven't shown you that they want to, and I'll give you an example. So my ex, I had a problem with drinking because I grew up with alcoholic parents, and I said, please go to AA. I set you up a meeting. Just go. Just walk in the door. That's all I need you to do. And if you can't make it through 5 minutes, leave. Just do that part for me and I'll stay with you. And he would agree and he would say, okay, I'll do it. But he never actually got in the car. He never actually walked in the door of that AA meeting that I set up weekly. So that's the difference. He would tell me he would do it and he would be very convincing, but he would never show me. If they are not currently in therapy and have shown desire to change, then this is going to be your life. So have they shown you or have they told you? Are they doing it for you or are they doing it for them? Is this a life you can learn to love and be happy in? You're going to have to learn how to speak in ways that don't trigger him. So if you have some big accomplishment, like you just got a promotion at work or you finally lost 50 pounds, you can't go tell him because that'll affect their ego and they'll have to prove they're superior and they'll end up fighting you later. You'll have to be okay with constantly being dragged down, being called names, being hurt, being blamed, controlled, isolated. You'll have to learn to love that if you want to have a happy life. So the choice is yours and yours alone. It's no one else's, it's yours. Make the decision. What kind of life do you want to have? And be realistic about how you can have it. So if you had the courage and the bravery to make that decision, there are 6 steps I want you to take to leave them and to begin your new life in a healthy way that will lead you to true happiness. So stick around and be here for part 3 next week on narcissistic abuse and recovery, where we'll talk about the 6 steps to moving on. See you next week.